Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, well, the pre-release promos from Sword and Shield have gone and been revealed, they've gone and been released. And I'm going to come straight off the bat and say, I believe these are the best set of 4 pre-release promos we've had since we moved to having 4 pre-release promos. Now, Team Up had some very strong promos. However, Team Up had Zapdos and Jirachi. Amazing. And then Charizard and Nidoqueen, which were nowhere near as good. They're fine, but nowhere near as good. As a 4, they fell down a little bit. Well, the good news is, ladies and gentlemen, that when it comes to Sword and Shield, they are literally all good. All 4 of these are really good. I believe there's a clear number 1. Outside of that, yeah, it is just awesome. Now, a huge thank you to the lovely Yeoman Yu for sending me the information and some images, and to the lovely Stephen Kent, who did send me some images that came from Dolly's Toys and Games West shop in Ontario, presumably Canada. Those people are all wonderful, awesome people, and have made my life significantly easier. So let's rank them like we always do, and starting off at number 4, but don't read too much into it, Galarian Perserker. And I still despise the fact it's called Galarian Perserker. Now, this is a Stage 1 Pokemon, and the real hook here is the ability Steely Spirit. Your metal Pokemon's attacks do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. And we've seen this ability on Delmise. The thing is, there's a big difference between 20 more and 10 more. Honestly, the number one reason why this is good is because we're getting a Galarian Meowth. Now, it was in a promo set in Japan, so we don't know if it's going to be in Sword and Shield or coming along a little bit later. But it's a new Galarian Meowth, not the one from the main set, which really makes Galarian Perserker so gosh darn good. You see, it's a basic that has an ability that allows you to search your deck for a Galarian Perserker and put it into your hand. Which means you can play an entirely basic deck using only Quick Ball, but then you can use Galarian Meowth to search out Galarian Perserker. It also means that if you're playing Pokemon Communication, you're going to have a really easy way to search for a Pokemon, which you can then chuck back in with Pokemon Communication to get back out whatever you want. Yeah, put very simply, Galarian Perserker is going to be great in any metal deck, and without this Galarian Meowth, it is fine. But over in Japan, since the Galarian Meowth was released, metal decks are starting to play a 1-1-2-2 line of it. We know that Zacian V is the best Pokemon in Sword and Shield, and since the Galarian Meowth came out, those decks have started playing Perserker. So yes, I'm saying it's the 4th best out of 4, but I'm also telling you it's a really good card that is already seeing a fair amount of play. In at number 3, and you could really flick 3 and 2 around, and I wouldn't be terribly offended, but in at number 3, Rillaboom. And here's the thing, right? Rillaboom is also seeing a lot of play over in Japan at the moment. It is really becoming quite a nice little archetype. Rillaboom, well, it just lets you search your deck for 2 grass energy and attach them to one of your Pokemon. The thing is, we saw this basically same ability with Vikavolt, and Vikavolt was really good. So I don't see any reason why this shouldn't be good. And like I say, it's already seeing play over in Japan. It's seeing play with stuff like Rowlet and Alolan Executor, and it's seeing play with stuff like Venusaur and Snivy. Although to be fair, it's also pretty good with Celebi and Venusaur. Any grass or colourless Pokemon can be used with this, and all of a sudden you've just got really good energy acceleration. It's not the top deck over in Japan at the moment, but it is seeing a lot of play, it's seeing a lot of success, and it's only going to get better. I mean, when Rillaboom V drops, Rillaboom V looks like a really good partner for this. Basic Pokemon, big damage. And because we've got stuff now like Quick Ball, like Evolution Incense, etc., we can use these evolution decks far more easily than we could before, and they are way more viable than they were before. This might be the third best out of 4, but make no mistake about it, this is a really, really good Pokemon. The attack's nothing to write home about, I'll be honest with you. The attack's very meh, but it's a very, very good ability, and you should expect to see a lot of this. You should expect to see this Pokemon running around at a lot of the top tables as we go through, really from now until it rotates out. I've seen nothing to suggest it's going to get any worse in the future. In at number 2, we've got Cinccino. And here's the thing. Cinccino, I've seen it popping up in winning decks, but it's not seen as much play or success as the others on the list. Of the 4 cards we're getting, of the 4 pre-release promos, I have seen this see the least amount of play and the least amount of success. So why am I putting it at number 2? Potential. You see, it's literally got Zoroark GX's ability. Discard a card from your hand, draw 2 cards. And I just refuse to believe this is not, at some point very soon, going to become one of the best cards in the format. And just be at the center of a whole bunch. Again, I could be wrong. I just see no reason why this isn't going to end up being amazing. Now the attack 1 colorless energy, 40 damage, and attach a basic energy from your discard to one of your bench Pokemon is really quite good. Although as a stage 1, it's minimum turn 2. I don't think it's ever really going to be enough at that stage. But this ability is just crazy good nuts. Zoroark, and now to be fair, Zoroark had the really good attack as well. Let's not forget that. But Zoroark fed off that ability for years. It was just nuts good. And like I've said, non-GXs are a lot more consistent in the Sword and Shield metagame than they were beforehand. So getting these kind of things out is going to be so much easier. I know we've got Pidgeotto and I know we've got Zebstrika, but I think this is better than either of those. I think this is, as a stage 1 consistency Pokemon, and like I've said, we have a few of them around, I think this is the best one we've got. And maybe I'll end up being proven wrong about it, and if I am, I am. I just really think this is a phenomenal card that is going to see a huge amount of play and love. But I think the clear number 1 is Frosmoth. And look, Frosmoth evolves from Snom, and I'm a Snom fanboy. I love me some Snom. Let's be clear about that. I love Snom. But I also adore this ability. It is that same Rain Dance ability we've seen over and over again being really, really good, but on a stage 1. You can attach as many water energy as you like from your hand to your benched water Pokemon. Now, it's only benched and it's only water. You can't use this for something like Cramorant, for instance. 160 to the bench for free energy if you discard them all. Really quite good. Doesn't have to be to the bench, but come on, that's what it's good for. The thing is, let's not forget that we've got Quagsire. So even though you can only attach to the bench, Quagsire will move all of your water energy to your active Pokemon. And the 2 biggest downsides of Frosmoth are that you have to attach to the bench, and you have to attach to a water Pokemon. But as soon as you play a 1-1 Quagsire line, as soon as you get a single Quagsire on the bench, then all of a sudden you can move all the water energy over to the active. So now all of a sudden, both of those downsides have gone away. As long as you have a water Pokemon on your bench, and you're going to have Quagsire, you can actually just move that energy anywhere you like. So if you play a 1-1 Frosmoth and a 1-1 Quagsire, or if you just get one of each out on the bench at least, then you can just get the energy wherever you like, whenever you like, with no real downside whatsoever. Frosmoth is over the top phenomenal. It's already one of the best decks over in Japan, and I see no reason why this wouldn't just keep going. And it literally works with any good water Pokemon, or if you play Quagsire, any good colorless Pokemon or attacker with colorless energy. I mean, Lapras VMAX is one of the most obvious ones here. Hits for huge damage, but make no mistake about it, this is a phenomenal card that is going to be at the center of some of the best decks in the format. Now, I should also mention here that I have done videos about a bunch of these cards, showing them actually in action and winning, so I will pop links to those videos in the description, so if you want to go and see some winning Frosmoth decks, Rillaboom decks, etc., you will be able to go and do so, and life will be rather wonderful. But for a minute, can we all just sit and say a huge thank you to whoever it was that picked these pre-release promos. Because we have not seen pre-release promos this good. Like I said, back in Team Up we had Zapdos and Jirachi, which were amazing. But in terms of a set of 4 pre-release promos, we have never had it as good as we have it with these 4. This is the best set of pre-release promos we have ever had since we went to the new 4 pre-release promo set. And that is absolutely brilliant. I hope it's this good again in the future, but even if it's not, hopefully we can all sit there and go, at least we had it for a little while, and life is lovely. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome pre-release promos. I'm excited. You should be excited too. And I'd like you to tell me how excited you are in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are still pretty gosh darned awesome. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.